Hello, this is Jennifer. Today is, I think, June 16th. It's a Friday. I've reached a point with my tomatoes where, one, I have enough tomatoes for a few months, and the blight is just overwhelming them now. And so what I think I'll do is some major cutback and possibly some removal of plants that are for the most part dead. So I've been removing some of the tomatoes and just letting them ripen in the house, because as it is now, the mildew is drying out and now spreading with the wind. So this is now starting to spread all over the garden, and I need to stop it now. I probably shouldn't have let it go this far, but I was trying to get some ripe tomatoes. So anyhow, that's the state right now. Hello, it's Jennifer. It's June 18th, Sunday. Summer has come to Southern California. So for the past few days, it's been in the low 90s and high 80s in the daytime and in the 60s at night. It is now too hot for me to be outside most of the time. So basically I garden now from when I get up to about 9 or 10 o'clock, depending upon how hot it is. And then I go inside, and then I'll come back out, usually after 5, once the backyard is shaded. So some of the things that have been going on in the garden, I have cut back these tomatoes severely. So now I'm just letting the tomatoes ripen on the vine. And once they ripen, I will go ahead and remove these vines and probably plant some new tomatoes. So again, here in Southern California, we can grow tomatoes pretty much year round. So here's what's left. This one is the speckled Roman, and this one is a San Marzano, and the last few tomatoes on this Brandywine here are ripening, and then this is the less sweet Japanese. So depending upon how healthy the plants are overall, they may just start sprouting leaves and grow back again, or they may just die off. So I don't know yet. We'll see how these plants behave, but they had really bad blight, and I ended up cutting off a lot of the foliage and branches such that the blight didn't spread throughout the yard, because I was beginning to have trouble all over the yard and on multiple plants with the powdery mildew and blight. These San Marzano over here have had a huge growth spurt over the past few days. They're looking very happy and healthy. Nice big leaves, they're sweating. They're now starting to put out flowers and fruit, so some small fruit here. Although this one here doesn't look like a typical San Marzano. So the seeds here must have put out some sort of variant. I guess we'll see what kind of tomatoes those turn out to be once they ripen. These are more the traditional San Marzano. And over here as well. So this one looks pretty good, although they've run out of steak now, and I'm not sure what to do once they run out of steak. Maybe let them grow wider. I have no idea. I'll figure it out as the days come. So these are my newest plants. I transplanted them last week, and they've grown dramatically in just a week. So they were like maybe 4 inches, but now they're a good foot. These are super sauce tomatoes, and this one is the Polish Linguiça. It looks like something's been chewing on them. So I will find the little bugaboo and cut that caterpillar in half. It looks like there's also a volunteer pea growing in there, which I don't know how long that's going to last, seeing as how it's just too darn hot for peas. So I'll let it go and see what happens. This looks like a volunteer tomato that was in the soil. So I'm sorry, little guy, but I'm gonna have to pull you because there's no room for you. But you have some nice little roots. So maybe I'll just go ahead and put this little guy in some water and put him someplace else. Oh, looks like there's some volunteers in here too. Well, let's get these little guys out. Over here is another new tomato that I've transplanted. Oh, let's see if I have the date on here. Mid-May, so about a month ago. And this is a yellow pear tomato, and it was also another plant that started out about 4 inches, and now it's pretty tall and climbing its stake. I've been trying to keep this one single stem. It's difficult because it really likes to send out the side shoots, the suckers. So I pluck them off. Oh, come on. These are my cherry tomatoes here, so the black cherry tomatoes. They had a really bad blight, so I'm just in the process of letting all of these tomatoes ripen, and I'll probably pull the plants after they ripen. Although they are growing nicely up at the top, so maybe if the blight doesn't fall on up the top, the plant will have a second chance, but I don't know, that looks pretty bad here. This is the mystery tomato, which I suspect is the Big Mama or the Gladiator. These tomatoes here are almost ready to pick, so they're ripening up nicely. Here's what they look like inside the bag. This one has a blemish, but probably something I just cut away. So hopefully these will be ready in the next few days to pick. And then here's my black creme. And there's one here ripening. And these are a pretty good size. I'm very pleased. It looks like there's a new plant coming up here. So, so it looks like I'll have a second gen without having to plant anything new. Behind it are some new plants that I planted last week. I might have to get rid of this one already since it's already starting to blight at the bottom here. That's too bad. It's an Italian ice, but I'll try some fungicide. And back here it looks like the same thing, that they're already starting to blight, which is no good. And over here is my other black creme, and it's got some nice sized tomatoes on there. It's still developing. It's growing up through the trellis, and so if I can keep the blight at bay, then I should be able to get some nice tomatoes off this throughout the summer. This is my beef bush steak tomatoes. So down here, these are starting to ripen, and these will be ripening soon. I basically cut off the foliage off here because it was just too much and there was blight everywhere. And so in order to try to save the other tomatoes, which are indeterminate, I went ahead and cut away the leaves. So they should ripen up, and then after that I'll pull these. And then over here I think is my green gage. I'm not sure, but I think that's what this is. And it's had blight issues too, but it's grown up through here to the top, and the top looks very healthy. So hopefully I can keep the blight at bay and let this plant grow, because I don't have any tomatoes yet. But it looks like at the bottom a new plant is growing, so I've got a backup already growing, and it looks really healthy. More bush steak over here, and this one here, right here, the skinny one, is Mr. Stripey, and it hasn't put on any fruits yet either, but it's relatively unhealthy. But maybe up through the top here it'll finally put on some fruits. And again, more bush steak here, and then this is the Aunt Ruby's German Green, which is growing well. The tomatoes aren't that big. I'm not sure why. Maybe they'll get bigger, but they look kind of small. And here are the Gladiator tomatoes. They've somewhat caught up now. I guess I should get to the other side because the sun's in the way. They've got some nice sized fruits on them, as you can see here. And they're growing out to the top now. This is my other brandywine, and the birds have eaten it too. I've picked off most of the fruit as much as I could before the birds got to it. I was cutting this back until I discovered what looks like maybe a bird's nest up here. So I don't want to disturb the bird's nest. We've noticed that a dove has been frequenting up here, so maybe the dove is trying to build a nest here. So we've been leaving that alone. But I did want to remove some more of these leaves so they don't dry up and spread the fungus around. But the birds are annoying in terms of eating these because they pack so many of them, and then the fruit flies come and it's just gross. One of these is the black truffle. I'm not sure which one anymore. Maybe this one, I don't know. It's kind of a mess over here. And here's our grape that's growing all over the place. It goes wherever it wants to. And my pumpkin, which we now have a third pumpkin right here. Looking pretty good. So these are the sugar pumpkins. They're supposed to be small, which is what I wanted because I'm interested in baking. We have a electric pumpkin that we use for Halloween, so I'm not interested in growing anything big. And then the two pumpkins here have already ripened, and part of the advice on the internet, I'm just leaving them on the vine for as long as possible. And then later on we'll go ahead, cut them off, bathe them up, and try to store them for fall. Over here is my zucchini squash, so these two big guys will be ready soon, probably a week. They're starting to turn yellow, so when they turn bright yellow, they'll be ready to eat. The vine goes all the way in here, an invaded tomato bed, and so there's a third one here, so that's good. I think this is a delicata squash, and I can't tell whether it's dwarfed or not, but there's that. And then these over here, I think this one is a cucumber, and then this one is another kind of squash, and I'm not sure what kind, but I'll probably find out soon when it starts sending out some female flowers. We'll know by the shape of the fruit. Right now it looks like, well, there's one little round guy over there. Oh, this might be another mini pumpkin plant, but of a different color than the ones I grew before. And here's my absurd corn patch. I've been hand pollinating. Looks like we're getting some decent ears, so I'm excited about that. It's been hard keeping the ants and the aphids off of this, but now I got to worry about the heat. So just got to get these ears through before it gets into the hundreds here. So hopefully these only have a couple more weeks left on them, so we can collect the ears and eat some and freeze some kernels for later, that type of thing. This is the mini pumpkin plant. We harvested most of the mini pumpkins off, but then it started sending out female flowers again. So I just went ahead and U-turned it back into the bed here. So we'll see if we get any more mini pumpkins off of this. And the onion and leek bed, they're doing pretty well. The leeks are nice and big now. And I come out and cut the scapes off the onions. We have lots of onions inside, so I haven't felt the need to pull any of these yet. This is where my other mini pumpkin used to be. I went ahead and removed it Same thing with the garlic. And now I'm just waiting to figure out what to put in this container instead. Here's my second attempt at the kabocha. It's looking much bigger now. I might need to move it into the sun because this eggplant started growing some more as it heated up. So now it's crowding out the eggplant underneath, and I might have to pull that out. So I might not get any Black Beauty eggplants this year, but that's okay because I don't really like Black Beauty eggplants. These are Purple Rain here. And these are the last of my determinate tomatoes. So the Patio Princess here, which is ripening, and then this is the Salda tomato, fresh Salda. It's got some fruits down here, and then the soybean behind, which has soybeans on it, but I don't know when to pick these. And the anahu back here. Underneath here are the peppers, so that's a lemon ahi or lemon drop pepper. Over here is a cubanelle, the ground cherries, which I thinned out last week, and then the Mexibel over here, which doesn't look like it's doing so well. I'll go ahead and pull out those dead leaves. And then the Padron over here, and I've forgotten what these other peppers are, but they've put on a whole lot of height in the past week or so. Hopefully soon they'll start putting on some peppers. It's looking like these dragon roll peppers are the same peppers as shishito, so that's funny. I think different seed companies give their peppers different names, so yeah, that looks like a shishito to me. Anyhow, unfortunately this bed looks like it's getting overrun by fungus blight, so we'll see if I can get it past this, but the heat just might accelerate the death of these plants, but we'll see. So this is my sweet thing pepper, and these are supposed to be heatless cayenne peppers. The peppers look pretty good. I'm kind of excited for them, so I guess I should wait till they turn red, although I'm tempted to try them now. I love the color. And then over here, I don't know what that is. I think it might be one of those like ones that looks like a pumpkin. And then back there, some sort of bell. And in between I have some dark basil. I think this one is a Brazilian starfish. I don't know if it's really going to come back. It's been struggling. Same here with this one, which is now just a stick because it lost all its leaves. More peppers back there. I don't know what that is. It's round. It looks like a bell pepper, but it's growing upside down, so that can't be a bell pepper. I think that's Marconi over there, the long pepper. Banana peppers behind there, they're light green. I know this one is a bell pepper. I don't know if there's any peppers on it yet. Same here. This is a tomatillo. This one I transplanted maybe 2 weeks ago, and it was teeny tiny, but it's been growing very quickly since I transplanted it. It's very beautiful now, nice big green leaves. So I'll probably pull this one here. It looks like it's too diseased and it's starting to die. That's the coral bell, so I never got any fruits off of that. Back here is the banana. I better look at that banana pepper. And the way back, the round one there, that's an alma paprika. I don't know what these guys are, but I'll wait for them to turn colors. I suspect that these might be a mix. Like maybe the bell and the alma paprika got together and made some sort of interesting thing. I don't know. And over here is my spice bed, which has gone to bloom. These are oregano, very pretty purple flowers when they bloom. The other ones are various kinds of basil. So down here, that's the cinnamon basil. This, I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what this is either. This is the blue spice. This is the tarragon, I think. And, or this might be tarragon. I'm not sure. Maybe smell. Ooh, that smells delicious, whatever it is. I'll put it on meat. That one's overshadowed by the blue spice basil that smells like blueberries and bubblegum. Try again. This might be the marjoram. The bees are loving this bed. And my parsley's going to flower. And this is the anise. Nice and big. And I think this is thyme, maybe? And here is a jalapeno. It's not doing so well. I may have to pull it. This jalapeno is doing better, and there's some fruits on it. And my other determinate bed, which is being changed over. So what's left here are the Maraglobe tomatoes and the, what are these called? Oh, Supremo. The Supremo are okay. They're mainly a sauce tomato. They're not super tasty, but they aren't offensive either. But I don't think I'll grow these again because they're just kind of average math tomatoes. Here are my banana trio, and they're slow growing. I hope I'm doing this right. And then here's some new tomatoes. So the two on the ends, this one and that one, are some tiger tomatoes, and those are tiger striped tomatoes, and they are a grape tomato. And this one here is a blue-green type of tomato, and I haven't labeled that tomato. And then I put the two volunteer tomatoes from earlier over here. So we'll see how those little guys do. This tomato here, though, is very unruly. It's got a bunch of suckers and tiny little feathery leaves. I don't like that. It's very hard, when they're like this, it makes the tomato very hard to maintain. This is a mystery tomato that I grew from a sucker and didn't label. Sorry. And then this is the black cherry that's been growing in this container. Yeah, so basically I'm just letting the tomatoes ripen, and then I'll probably pull it. And another one of these suckers that I'm growing. That one says that it's a silver fir, but somehow I don't think so. The silver fir had much more delicate leaves. That just looks like an ordinary tomato. I pulled all the peppers from this bed because the bed got overrun with ants and aphids, and it was just too much. And I, have been fighting this bed for the past probably 3 months trying to keep it healthy, and I just gave up. So what's left here are two of the, I think these are time bomb peppers. So they're a hot cherry pepper, and those are the ones that are left. And then here's my watermelon sprout. So this is a full-size watermelon. I'm happy it sprouted. And then over here, I'm starting my onion bed again. So I got a couple little sprouts over there. And here, just to illustrate my tomato situation. Kind of crazy. And my squashes for tonight's dinner. So these two patty pan I've been holding on to, and this one is the first of my crookneck squash that ripened today. And over here are all the little pumpkins I've collected. So we'll try eating these soon.